This is great. Camera has decided that neither of us can be on it. Whatever. We're very talented.
So talented.
Very talented.
There we go. Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Tristan Davis said, I got my stomp yesterday. This thing is like 40 freaking pounds.
Yes,
LOL.
it is.
Dude, it's a hospital on your back. I told you this.
Hospitals aren't light.
Hospitals aren't light. This is true. Okay, we're doing great with this camera. Watch this. We're gonna try this back over here. Does that work? Yeah, that works better. There we go. Get a nice shot. Such a nice shot.
Such a nice shot.
It's great. Dudley's cringing. I like that meme that's going around. It's like, for the last time, the void is for staring into and the abyss is for screaming into. Yeah.
Important clarification. Do not scream into the void. It makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's White Girl Wednesday. Who are you?
I'm the white girl. I'm Lissa from Not the Internet.
Correct. What's that, Lauren?
The white girl.
The white girl. The only one.
The only one. Lauren doesn't count today.
I mean, if Lauren would encourage her sister to buy LaurenSistersCandles.com, then Lauren could participate in White Girl Wednesday.
Cannot possibly be that expensive.
I told her, I was like, you need to get it.
Yeah. Tell her more forcefully.
Listen.
Say,
You've got like 2,000 people that will go buy a Lauren
Yeah.
Sisters candle.
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
.com.
If they could get to the URL that doesn't exist, LaurenSistersCandles.com.
That's modern candles, but you know.
So if I was you, here's what I would do. I would buy LaurenSistersCandles.com.
Buy them wholesale.
I would set up your own affiliate link, right? Actually, I should do this. I will buy LaurenSistersCandles.com.
You better hustle.
Drive all this traffic to LaurenSistersCandles.com. Get 20% on every transaction. And then your sister wakes up tomorrow morning. She's like, "We sold 1,000 candles. What happened?"
I'll be like, "You're welcome."
Yeah, I told you. I told you. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Radio Made Easy is here. What's up, Evan? I got a cool hat from Evan yesterday. The hat was not the coolest part of Evan being here, but it was cool. I had a really good class. And did we put the new dates up in the store yet? No?
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Stay tuned.
Tell them to push the notify me button so that when it goes live, they don't literally miss their seat.
Lauren said, which I will translate as, you should push the notify me button on the Radio Made Easy class at refugetraining.com so that when it goes live, you'll be able to get your seat, because that sucker sells out. So, in any event, Pentagon halts weapons supplies to Kyiv. You know where Kyiv is?
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
Where's Kyiv?
It's in Ukraine.
It is.
It's over there in West Russia.
As an American white girl, how much do you care about Ukraine? Just be honest.
It's a good indicator. We got ads, guys. It's a good indicator of how we feel, because in the US we're like, we're done giving weapons. We're probably getting kind of sensitive about something else. Or overwhelmed, or just over it in general. At large, I try not to care too much about international conflicts that aren't directly touching us, because I feel like we should focus here and do better here and fix things here.
That's part of the whole globalization thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's tough being a world empire, you know, because you got all these problems that crop up everywhere, and then you dilute the homeland trying to deal with these problems abroad, right? It's you know, it's interesting because, like, you look at the Roman Empire, the British Empire, Mongolian Empire, right? All these, you know,
superpowers,
international superpowers, right? And they all have the same power, or the same pattern rather, where it's like, if we could just get to where we take over the world, everything will be great. It's like, it's actually not.
No.
Because most of your problems are half a world away.
And people.
The
bigger your borders, the more people are inside of them. The more people are inside of them, the differing personalities, different cultures. Like, even just within the U.S., there's radically different cultures from where I'm from to here. Let alone, like, East Coast to West Coast. You get far south Florida, and that's a whole nother personality type.
So, yeah, Florida man.
We got Florida man versus Oklahoma boondocks versus the Northwoods, right?
Yeah, so the Trump administration is floating denaturalization for certain naturalized citizens came here on visas, etc. Basically saying that they failed to assimilate. So I think you should assimilate. I think if you're going to be an American, be an American. It's my 2 cents. But which version of American should you be? But like, you want to be like a crunchy NorCal hippie lady, or like
downtown New Yorker?
Yeah, those are two very different things.
Different.
In fact, we were just talking about Jason Charles, the angry prepper, or I was. There was a thing, not going my way, and I just started swearing in angry prepper mode. Yeah, with the accent and everything. You mother... Yeah, so, but I digress.
See, look, the Northwoods is here. Hi, Kiri.
Oh, what's up, Northwoods? So, the Pentagon has decided that they are not going to send certain types of weapons to Ukraine anymore. Affects dozens of Patriot missile interceptors, Stingers, and AIM air-to-air missiles, hundreds of Hellfires and GMLRS systems, as well as thousands of 155mm artillery shells that Washington had previously pledged to Kyiv. Some of the weapons, which are already positioned in Europe, have now been withheld and will be provided to Ukrainian forces. The weapon systems in question have been funded under the Biden administration, though, through two mechanisms: direct drawdowns from existing U.S. military stockpiles, and the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, which contracts new production from defense contractors. The Trump administration had not requested any additional aid for Kyiv, and existing resources expected to last only several more months, according to Politico. So sooner or later, somebody's going to start rolling out the, if we don't do something, they're all going to die thing, and you'll get the whole, like, Zelensky's talking points of, like, we didn't start this war, Putin started this war, and we're fighting this war for the world so that you don't have to. And it's like, yeah, he also got installed by the intelligence community into that position in the first place. So, like, it's all a big act. Now, unfortunately, for the people who are over there fighting, it's not a big act. Right now, there's a lot of Russians are reporting that most of their interactions with Ukrainian soldiers, the Ukrainian soldiers are of the age of 60 to 70 years old. They're grandpas, and the allegation is that Ukraine has run out of young men to fight its wars, to which Ukraine has retorted, no, we are keeping the young men here for breeding, which is an interesting way of putting it, because we're all livestock now, we're cattle.
A little awkward, okay.
For breeding, like...
This is a person.
Yeah, like... But they're keeping them there for breeding, to repopulate their country with, so they're sending men who have already had children and grown children to the front lines. And so the Russians now are losing, allegedly, the data sets are all skewed, but they're losing, allegedly, somewhere around 4,000 to 12,000 men a month, primarily to drones. And so to combat the drones, they're now, one of their tactics is they're taking Russian guys, putting them on dirt bikes, and having them race ahead on dirt bikes faster than the drones can go to suspected Ukrainian positions, to then open up with, small arms fire, AK-47, AK-74, whatever, and just shoot the crap out of the Ukrainians, hopefully one of which is the drone operator, so that they don't get blowed up by the drone. And it's just not... War's not clean anyway, but it's definitely not clean. Like, there's a lot of shenanigans happening on both sides.
We're in that in-between right now with war zones too, where it's not entirely detached, drone, automated, non-personnel warfare yet, but it's not all the way trenches, in-your-face, hand-to-hand combat warfare anymore either.
Right.
And so that crossover period is in some ways even uglier.
So this is what the big they refer to as fifth generation warfare, which is a slew of new technologies that are as of yet unproven. There's no real tactics for it. The tactics are being developed on the fly. Coupled with fourth generation warfare, which is terrorism and insurgency, coupled with information warfare and attacks on infrastructure, coupled with third generation warfare, which is like trench warfare up to about the age of mechanized infantry, somewhere in there. And so that it's this hybrid where nobody really, there's no rule book for this. There's no map sheet. Nobody really knows what works and what doesn't work. And so down to individual soldiers developing their own tactics, techniques, procedures, just to, the drone swarm's like a real thing.
Yeah, and it's run by kids who like to play video games for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, the detachment from what's going on there has caused a lot of post-war issues even here.
What was that Robin Williams movie? It's Older Than You Are, where they had put a bunch of kids in front of video games, and they thought they were just playing video games, but they were actually hitting military targets.
That sounds like real life.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I have not seen that movie.
Yeah, it was way back in the day. Somebody in the chat will know.
Yeah.
I'm not great at the movies. White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly defended the move as a necessary step to prioritize American defense needs. Quote, "This decision was not made to put American interests. The decision was made to put American interests first, following a DoD review of our nation's military support and assistance to other countries across the globe. The strength of the United States Armed Forces remains unquestioned. Just ask Iran," she said, without confirming any details. Toys. Yeah, Mark R. Toys.
There's
Toys. It's called Toys.
It is called Toys? Okay.
Toys. Yep.
Ender's Game, War Game, Ready Player. It sounds like there's lots of movies that follow this storyline. Home Alone.
R. Boebert. Are you Representative Lauren Boebert? That's weird. That's weird. You need to like act like less of a hoe on X and do your job and represent your constituents if you are Representative Lauren Boebert. Yeah. So, fun times. Single white girl wants no plain prepper.
Disregarding that.
Oh, no, she's not single. She's married, and she's not married to me. There are only a handful of single white girls in our assembly.
Yep.
Two come to mind.
Yes.
Let's shut the whole show down for this. We gotta get plain prepper a wife, apparently.
Proximity is kind of important to us. Our men are very protective and will squish you like a bug if you don't act respectable.
That's true.
Which I love about them.
It'd be like that. Okay, from Axios, Trump's big day, a feud, a Senate win, and alligator Alcatraz. In Okeechobee, Florida, President Trump began Tuesday by stoking his on-again feud with Elon Musk and joking about alligators chasing imminent immigrant detainees. You know,
we live in a video game.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know.
He later basked in the Senate's passage of his signature tax and spending bill. So the big beautiful bill, the triple B bill, has passed the Senate. It's moved to the House. If this Congress doesn't get SBRs and cans across the line, there's a lot of people, me included, there's a lot of people being extremely vocal on social media and X, basically saying, if you guys don't do what we hired you to do in November, even Elon's saying, I will primary every single Republican who got elected on, for example, no more omnibus bills, single issue bills, no more deficit spending, yet here we are, we're going to add, depending on who you ask, $1, $2, $3 trillion to the deficit.
With the king of omnibus bills.
It's a beautiful bill. It's going to pay for all the alligators to eat the immigrants. It's very cost effective. after they're eaten, we just roll them into the swamps. It's fine. It feeds the tilapia. You know, this is not what a lot of people voted for. I'm not going to assume what you on the other side of the camera voted for. It ain't what I voted for. I'll tell you that. And if we don't get shorties and cans and any other weapons and short barrel shotguns out of this deal, off of the NFA, not just, oh yeah, you don't have to pay the taxes, but it's still a registry. No, if it doesn't go away, if the NFA is not repealed, me personally, I will be very unhappy. Now, what is my expectation here? I have been conditioned by my government to expect nothing and be happy when I receive nothing. And like that's facts. I've defaulted into the, well, at least they didn't make it worse position, which is not
nothing is better than worse.
Right, which is not exactly hopeful.
No.
You know.
Moon-based prison camp. There's no alligators on the moon, though.
We're gonna bring the alligators in. We're gonna fly them in. We're gonna put them on jets made by Boeing. We're gonna fly them to the moon. Space alligators. NASA tells me it can be done. That's one of the things Trump brought up, because so Elon brought up. He's like, hey, if you guys keep messing around, he said this yesterday. You guys keep messing around. Tomorrow, I will start a third political party. At this point, for me, I'm like,
bet.
Screw it, roll the dice.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Why not? Are they going to get bought out by APAC too? Are they going to get infiltrated by China? Are they going to have backroom deals? Probably later on.
Yeah.
But at least for right now, like, yeah, can we lower taxes, have lower deficit spending? Can we get rid of the violent illegal nationals that are not supposed to be here? Can we protect our borders? Can we not engage in deficit spending? Can we get shorties and cans across the line? No, completely repeal the NFA. I mean, they have 3-position FRT triggers now. They basically do the same thing as we're on YouTube. And so if I say the phrase machine gun, I'll probably get in trouble. What's up, Wobby? Shalom, bro. But we already have that, right? And so, like, just give the people what they want. I think I'm such a Second Amendment absolutist. I think that if you have the money for an A10, you should be able to buy an A10. If you have the money for an M1 Abrams, you should be able to buy an M1 Abrams. And I don't mean demilitarized, decommissioned. I mean, if you can afford $300 a round, 30 millimeter Vulcan chain gun, okay, sure, buy it. Why not? Who cares? You know, Biden was like, you're gonna need F-16s to fight the government. It's like, okay, is there like an auction site that I can go to? Do I just contact Raytheon directly? Like, how does this work?
Seems reasonable.
I mean, why not?
We've got the pilots, or we find them.
Yeah, I know some of them guys. I'd probably just send a text message.
Yeah.
Be like, who do you know that can fly this F-16 that I bought at govx.com?
There would be so many hands. Please let me fly it.
Well, just the operating costs are like massive. So
the amount of maintenance those things takes is insane.
See, Arc Living, I need an A10.
Yeah.
Everybody needs an A10. Like, at what point do we actually militarize the Bear Nation? You know what I mean?
And not right now.
So,
I've got too much to do.
I heard that they might be selling off some federal land.
Yeah.
So maybe we buy some of that federal land, or we just take it by force.
That seems to be in contention about whether that stayed in the bill. I've seen a couple of conflicting points.
I've seen everything I've seen about the bill has been conflicting.
Yeah.
And
I don't have time to read the whole thing.
That's exactly it, right? Like, we have real jobs. We do real things aside from talk at the rectangle. And trying to keep track of everything that's happening. When I was a kid, the news cycle was like daily, sometimes weekly. And then as I've grown up, it's gone from like weekly, daily to like kind of like twice a day, 3 times a day. If I had to pick an inflection point for that, it was 9/11. And then, we kind of have an hourly news cycle right now. And then sometimes it's by the minute.
Yep.
And it's just impossible to keep track of all this stuff. So the big beautiful bill, Trump and his team seem to view it as his best day as president, a day when his brash, norm-crushing style was paying off in a series of wins in D.C. and Florida, where he visited a new immigration lockup dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Some warned that caging thousands of immigrant detainees in tents on an airstrip in the Florida Everglades during summer and hurricane season was inviting environmental and humanitarian disaster. It is summer. It's not exactly hurricane season, but
Not yet.
point taken. I could see that being a debacle.
Hurricane season for Florida is kind of like winter for Wisconsin. It's always coming.
Yeah. Yeah, well, process them real quick and get them out of there.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the talking points with Alligator Alcatraz is that it was going to be an airport, and so there is an airstrip there, and so there's the ability to process and deport is actually pretty quick there. So.
Yeah. Don't sit around.
Boo boo boo.
But then again, it's the government, so we gotta sit around a little bit.
Let's see. Trump's White House began the week buoyed by a series of recent events. On Saturday, his political committees announced a historic $1.4 billion war chest for the 2026 primaries. Wow, that's a lot of money for the 2026 primaries. First of all, where'd that money come from?
Yeah.
Whose money is that $1.4 billion for primaries? And then, why do we need to primary so many people in the 2026 midterm elections? Trump is using this like a big stick, basically saying, you vote in line with what he's doing, or he will primary you during the midterms. A lot of the constituency is saying, don't vote the way that Trump wants to go, vote the way that people want to go, or the constituency will primary you in the midterm elections. Then you have Elon saying, we may form another political party, in which case everybody's getting primaried in the midterm elections.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, man. The day before, the Supreme Court limited lower courts from using nationwide injunctions to block presidential policies nationwide. The weekend before that, Trump had ordered what the administration says were successful strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Yep, we heard about that. Blah, 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 blah. This is fun. According to Reuters, hackers say... Okay. Iran-linked hackers have threatened to disclose more emails stolen from U.S. President Donald Trump's circle after distributing a prior batch to the media ahead of the 2024 U.S. election. In online chats with Reuters on Sunday and Monday, the hackers, who go by the pseudonym Robert... Why is Reuters just texting Iranian hackers, by the way?
Why not?
Seems like an odd bedfellow. You know what I mean? It's an interesting contact to have in your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't label it Iranian hacker,
But
use the sources you have
It would
available.
be Robert.
Robert.
Robert said they had roughly 100 gigabytes of emails from the accounts of White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Trump lawyer Lindsey Halligan, Trump advisor Roger Stone, and porn star turned Trump antagonist Stormy Daniels.
What a title.
This is America. You could be anything you want if you put your mind to it, you know? Robert raised the possibility of selling the material, but otherwise did not provide details of their plans. If I was the President of the United States of America, the most powerful man on earth, I would set up a buy with Robert. Mm-hmm. I would find out where Robert is, and Robert would no longer be breathing air.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi described the intrusion as an unconscionable cyber attack.
Oh, yes.
The White House and FBI responded with a statement from FBI Director Kash Patel, who sucks, who said anyone associated with any kind of breach of national security will be fully investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, except Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Except for him.
And all of his affiliates.
Yeah, that's totally true. Because what he didn't say is if you're associated with a certain Middle Eastern New Jersey, then nope, there will be no prosecutions whatsoever. This so-called cyber attack is nothing more than digital propaganda, and the targets are no coincidence. This is a calculated smear campaign meant to damage President Trump and discredit honorable public servants who serve our country with distinction, Cyber Defense Agency CISA said in a post on X. Okay, cool. So they're all towing the party line. Trump's people got hacked. This is part of why he said he doesn't use email.
Well, if you don't want this stuff out there, don't write it down and put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, leave your phone at home and say it face to face. Thoughts?
Tristan in the chat. Oh no, not investigated. I know. Oh no, they're going to investigate stuff? Don't do that.
Don't investigate.
It's often said that Washington, D.C. is the place that investigations go to die.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a lot of, because us are the little dumb people, us, are like, well, if we can elevate to the federal level, then we can get something done on this. It's like, nope. No.
Do it at the local level. That's the only place you're going to get anything done on most stuff. Sometimes state, depending on what it is.
Delicious. From CBS News, Elon Musk vows to start a new political party after Trump feud. Here's why that's harder than it sounds. As billionaire Elon Musk feuds with President Trump over his signature tax and domestic policy legislation, Musk has re-upped his call to launch a new political party, a daunting task even for the wealthiest person on earth. They love to just throw that in there.
Yeah.
The wealthiest person on earth.
Well, especially now that he's not on the IT team.
Musk is, so when they say the wealthiest person on earth, right? Musk doesn't have $400 billion.
No,
Musk
he just controls the companies.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Musk directs the actions at the executive level of entities, revenue-producing assets that are valued at $400 billion in the open market. Those are two currently. Those are two very different things. Musk first floated launching a third party dubbed the America Party earlier this month, part of a nasty back and forth between the president and the Tesla CEO that marked the likely end of their political alliance. Do you remember when Musk said on X that the reason we haven't gotten the Epstein files is because Trump is on them?
Yeah, he had a little hissy fit, and then they sent mean tweets to each other.
Yeah.
But I do think that was a publicity stunt, personally. Like, I think all of this is orchestrated to just keep eyes on them. I think they're probably still talking to each other behind the scenes.
I think that they, at times, may be sitting next to each other while they're doing this.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Stryker made a good point in the comments, though, that starting a third political party doesn't actually fix any problem. It just divides the conservative half of the situation, and we pretty much sign away the rest of the elections for as long as we can call them elections, which is hotly debated on whether we even still are.
Yeah, Oops said, remember the Tea Party? Co-opted. 100%.
I mean, how much tea do I have to chuck to make taxes go away now? Because I'll go find all the tea.
Yeah. Ted Cruz was part of the Tea Party. Remember when old Teddy was part of the Tea Party?
You were like 4. Throw stuff in a Boston harbor and get rid of taxes. I'm ready for the original Tea Party.
Yeah.
Or whichever harbor is closest.
Well, I mean, we could do that, except the traffic cameras would take all of our photos and upload them to the Palantir database in real time, which would then, using quantum computing, backtrack our pattern of life and determine where it is we're going to go for coffee after the tea, where Kash Patel will be waiting for us with the FBI, and then
then you'll get investigated.
No, we will go to prison because we're us.
Because it's no time for investigating
because we're not
us.
Special.
No.
Everyone else just gets investigated. Let's see. Musk raised the idea again this week as lawmakers race to send the One Big Beautiful Bill Act to Mr. Trump's desk, and this time Musk put a time limit on the plan. Quote, if this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day, Musk wrote in a post on X Monday evening. hours before the bill passed the Senate on Tuesday and headed back to the House. Quote, our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so that the people actually have a voice, end quote. So this is like populist rhetoric, and it's good populist rhetoric because part of me goes, yeah, people should have a voice.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay taxes.
Me either.
Taxes are dumb.
Yeah.
I agree. Uniparty. So there's like dog whistles in here, right? Like, yeah, uniparty's bad. Like, it's all the same. How many times have I said the left and the right are both, two separate wings of the same shitty bird? I still believe that. And we're seeing that in real time. And whatever happened to Doge? You know what I mean?
It got disintegrated.
Right.
It just went away.
Where's that? So we no longer have a Department of Government Efficiency anymore?
Yeah, because we've admitted that the government is not efficient.
So Trump actually said that if Elon wanted to keep running his mouth, that maybe Elon's military and federal contracts should get doged, and that Elon might get deported back to South Africa.
To which his response was, oh, we guess we'll fire NASA.
Yeah.
And quit funding the entirety of space and flight and all the things he does.
What the American people could do if we were just left alone. Now, there are people, it's unfortunate, there are people that have been conditioned into comfortable slavery who would die if the federal government was greatly reduced in its size and scope. Now notice, I did not say that all people who depend in part or in full upon the federal government would die. But there are some people that would die. In fact, as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, cuts to Medicaid is one of the things that people keep bringing up. And apparently the Congressional Budget Office came up with an estimate of there's 4.8 million people on Medicaid that currently do nothing. Like they live at home and watch TV is kind of the talking points. And so in order for those people to continue to receive Medicaid, they have to either be gainfully employed or volunteer a minimum of 20 hours a week. I agree with that.
Seems reasonable.
A workman is worth their hire,
Yeah.
right?
And Medicaid is for younger people. Medicare is for retirement age and up, right?
I think so.
I know my grandma is on Medicare, but I think that's a retirement.
www.google.com.
Yes.
What is the difference between Medicare and Medicaid? Medicare and Medicaid are both government-funded healthcare programs. This is from the AI chat robot at Google.
Yeah, that's what it is, though. Older and younger.
Medicare is primarily for individuals age 65 and older and some younger people with disabilities or specific illnesses, regardless of income. Medicaid, on the other hand, is a needs-based program for low-income individuals and families, including children, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. Okay,
Helpful.
there we go. I'm on neither.
Yeah.
So my health insurance is my wallet, which is part of why, like, I'm trying to not be as fat, trying to move my body, trying to take care of myself, because, and so here's the other thing, right? When you're dependent upon the government for health care, you're going to get lowest bidder, lowest common denominator, garbage health care, right? And so getting back to, if the government just let people alone and just let people do what they do, Elon would already be on Mars, to the extent that that's even possible. That would have happened. You know what I mean? Like, just all the things that we do that are taxable. You could even get me with a 10% flat tax. Okay. All right. I like that more than sliding scale income tax.
Yep.
You could get me with a 10% flat tax. All right. It was good enough for God in the Bible. A tithe means a tenth. Okay. It's good enough for God. It should be good enough for the government as well. So you could get me on that. You know how much revenue that frees up to hire more people, invest in manufacturing, new products and services, to do all of that. I don't know, maybe go on a vacation with my family. Like, we took our first vacation this past winter in 7 years.
Too long.
Too long. It's kind of my point.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but Bear, you run a multi-million-dollar company. Yep. Yeah, I do.
But that circles back to net worth differential. People don't understand what net worth means. You are the president and CEO of X, Y, and Z, but that doesn't mean that the assets or the perceived value of any of those things is actually you.
Yeah, there's a difference between net worth and liquidity.
And accessible liquidity. Because there's liquidity in refuge that is keeping the ship running, that's operating expenses, but that's not your liquidity. That's not accessible.
Right. I don't drain the OPEX account at refuge to go on vacation.
No.
Right? That would be dumb.
It would be
Some people do.
immoral.
But I don't do that. Kentucky Sustainable Living. Good morning, bro. I will be there.
Shortly.
Yeah, shortly. Let's pull that up.
It's July.
www.kentuckysustainableliving.com. Look, next festival, July 18th through 20th. What is it? That's 16 days away. I'll be there. And I like your little email capture. That's good. I'm not doing it though. Speaker lineup. Let's see. Who's going to be speaking? Oh, that's me. That's me. William Bond's going to be there. Love that guy. Big fan of that guy. Dr. Trevor Wilkins.
Dr. Trev.
Love that guy.
Good homie.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And the tickets are super reasonable. 17 and under are free to the event. Okay? If all you did, it shouldn't be the only thing you do, but if all you did was come and see Dr. Trevor speak, this brother here is the only person on planet Earth, and that's not hyperbole, the only person on planet Earth who has the stack of credentials that he has. And he's too humble to say that about himself, so I will say it for him. He's the only person on planet Earth that has the certifications, the credentials, the experience that he has. He's amazing. And so if all you did was hear Trevor speak, it would be money well spent.
My dad has spent almost 30 years in the medical space. And he listened to Dr. Trevor at the Ruckus last year, and his review was that the hour and 15 minutes that Trevor spoke contained more helpful information than most of the week to 2 week long continuing medical education classes he's taken over the course of the last 25 years.
Wow. How is audio bad? Every friggin' time.
No, it's picking up the sewing machines. It's clicking. You were clicking on Monday too.
Yeah, that's a sewing machine.
Yeah, it's just picking it up because we tried to turn it up because there were so many low volume complaints.
I'm sorry, guys. Like,
it is what it is.
This is what American manufacturing sounds like.
We turn it down a little bit. Now turn your headset up and don't complain about low volume, please.
All right, I did a thing.
We'll see.
Hopefully that helped. Audio's good on my end, Eric. Thanks, man.
Good job, Eric.
Now it's good. Skydozer, thanks. All right, Jay Addison's going to be there. Brian and Susan Dudley are going to be there. Different Dudleys than our Dudleys. Looks like they're going to be doing radio stuff. Chronically Healthy, cool. Jeffrey and Elizabeth Banks stand in front of an M1. Very patriotic. Jeff Smith, Everyday Prepper. Suzanne Shires, Finding Salt in the Wild. That's an awesome class. So anyway, it's a cool event. It's a cool event. And let's see, if I went to purchase tickets, $35.
That is so
$35.
Inexpensive.
The regular price is $35, and children 17 and under are free.
And there's a 10% off code if you put your email in the capture that pops up.
Yeah. And now, listen, they're going to send you more emails after that because that's how an email capture works. But you should read those emails because Kentucky Sustainable Living rocks.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the show. Anyway, Musk wants to start a third party. There's a little tiny, the 6-year-old boy in me is hopeful that maybe somebody would do that and it would work.
Yeah.
But like the 40-something-year-old man in me is like, nah, that's probably not gonna work. So where is this, Scuba Mom? It's in Kentucky. And Kentucky Sustainable. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. www.kentuckysustainableliving.com. And Jason just said in the chat that tickets are 25% off this week. There's the link. I'm allowed to spam my own chat because it's my chat. There you go. If you can't find that, you need your eyeballs looked at. Okay. Mama, what's vacation mean? I know, Mahoney 530. I know. Be harder than the clicks, chat. Thanks, Striker Cade. So. All right. Anyway, continuing on with the show.
New party, maybe new party.
Brass tacks. What do you think about the new party?
I don't think it's gonna work. I've had interest in like third-party options in the past. I've even voted third-party before, not for the sake of I think they're gonna win, but there's certain metrics that third parties have to hit in order to be included in different conferences and different funding opportunities. So it's more along the lines of supporting that initiative. I don't think a third party is actually going to work in our current system setup. I think we'd have to have a system collapse, rebuild politically in order for a third option to actually be efficient.
I don't like it, but I am more and more convinced every day that the system is going to have to burn to the ground before something meaningful replaces what we currently have. And because that's what happens to empires.
Well, and we're about due for it. We turn 249 here shortly.
Yeah, we do a couple of days.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't like it, but this is, 42 minutes to get to this point. This is why we prepare. Okay? And we've seen since COVID, preparedness has become more and more of the stigma is being removed from preparedness. Like more and more people are beginning to understand, like, oh, maybe I should have some extra toilet paper. What should I do if I can't get to the grocery store, or there's no fuel, or whatever? And all of preparedness. There's lots of doomer porn channels. There's lots of people that want to sell you cheap Chinese junk on an affiliate link. There's lots of that stuff's out there. That's not what we do. I'm not into fear-based sales tactics for clicks and likes and all that, because for me it's normal. I grew up on a farm in upstate New York, and of course you had food in the pantry. You had animals in the field, and when you wanted to eat an animal that wasn't in the field, you went into the woods and found one of those animals. And we had well water, and I didn't understand how good we had it, honestly. And you knew how to hunt and fish and use a rifle, and you did have to take out predators in the middle of the night and get trespassers off your land, and mobility was a thing, and you knew how to work on your own vehicles, and you cut your own firewood, and all of that, what now 20 years later is considered atypical in society, was just normal. And that was in upstate New York.
I didn't know what the term prepper meant until late high school, because that was life.
Yeah.
Like, we did all of that.
Yeah.
But, like, walking out into the real world of office life, and here's your cubicle, and I'm like, you all are insane. What do you mean you don't put food in the freezer?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You've
never water bath canned green beans before? And people are like, what?
You're going to die.
No, I'll be fine.
I'm fine. Everything
you might
is
die.
Fine.
Yeah.
But especially through COVID, I feel like prepper became synonymous with hoarder for a minute there. And prepping isn't hoarding. Prepping is understanding what you have, how to use it, how to make more of it, and then something that Living Free in Tennessee is so good about hammering home is storing what you use and using what you store. I'm not going to stack a whole bunch of food that I don't eat and then let it expire and throw it away.
Yeah.
I stock what I eat, just slightly more of it, and then I roll back to front, back to front. Canned goods out, canned goods in.
So, Sister Cindy was in here yesterday. We were having a chat, and she was telling me about the first garden she ever planted. And she said, I watched one of your videos, and you said, plant your pantry.
Yeah.
Just plant your pantry. And she's like, I literally did that. I got some of my 15 bean soup, and I went out and I scattered all these beans.
I should do that.
And we planted rows and rows and rows of pinto beans because I wanted to know the viability of the beans that I was storing as seed if I needed to reproduce.
Yeah.
They did great. They did absolutely great. And, you know, beans are a nitrogen fixer, which our soil needs around here. And so Cindy planted her 15 bean soup, and she's like, I had some old potatoes in the pantry, so I threw them in there, and it all grew. And I was like, oh my gosh, it grows. And it's like, yeah.
I've never once bought seed potatoes.
Yeah.
I just take the tail end of whatever bag of potatoes is currently there and chop it into little pieces and throw it in the ground.
Yeah.
We've grown. I've had the same 5-pound bag of Aldi red potatoes for 4 years now. I brought them with me. I was like, we're just gonna keep this. It's the same bag from like 2021, and we just keep planting and pulling and planting and pulling.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
They just plants want to live.
Yeah.
They want to reproduce themselves. That's what they're coded for.
And so, all this to say, I think that it's likely, the most likely thing, is that society continues to degrade. And I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what's likely to happen, which means we need to execute radical personal responsibility now before it does.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stigma of doing that, preparedness, is falling off. It's becoming more and more acceptable and more accessible to more and more people. If you don't know what to do, there's a playlist on this channel called the Prepper Classroom. It's free. There's no sales pitches in it. It's just free. Just go watch that Prepper Classroom. It is, that content's about 5 years old, and I'm in the process of going through and updating that now in a new series that'll be coming out soon. But one of the things that I'm finding as I review that content from 5 years ago is it's still absolutely solid foundational advice.
Yes.
Like, start here, Prepper Classroom 101. And so go watch that if you don't know what to do. If you know you need water but you don't know how much, or you know you need food but you don't know how much, or whatever. Like, that's what the Prepper, or if you need a refresher.
I've done Prepper Classroom front to back 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
Like, just feeling not motivated right now. Like, I feel like this is dumb and I need to organize my pantry. I'm gonna go watch the one on food. I'm gonna get my butt in gear and go do it.
Yep.
Like, and every time it's helpful.
Well, and the thing there is, and thank you for that glowing endorsement. The motivations, I think, come and go, right? But the practicality stays. And I've talked about this in a video recently. One of the methods that I really like that Travis, the NWA Prepper, who has a great channel, you should be watching his channel as well. What Travis does is he designates each month of the year as a different purview.
Yeah.
And that helps, if you've been in the game a while, that helps keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, July is security month. Okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm going to buy some ammo, make sure I can still shoot this handgun, and you know, check the batteries in my weapons lights and blah, blah, blah.
Clean your stuff.
Yeah. But then, you know, in August is water. And then boom, now he's water focused in August.
Yeah.
So that's a really good approach as well.
And it helps you to review your stuff, because preparedness is not set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta look at things, otherwise you walk in and all your water cases cracked because it froze last winter and now you have no water.
Yeah, we had, just the other day, we've had this massive cucumber harvest.
Yes, you
Like,
have.
a massive cucumber harvest. Yeah, you don't even know the half of it, right? And so it's like, well, lots of cucumbers means we're making pickles.
Yep.
And so we went to get, my wife went to get a gallon of vinegar out of the pantry, and it's a gallon of vinegar that's been around for a few years. oh, it loses its potency. Yes, it does.
Yep.
It never goes to 0, okay? Or by the time it goes to 0, I'll be 162. So
Yes.
I'm not overly worried about it. So she gets the plastic jug out of the pantry, sets it down on the floor, and the side of it cracks. And now there's just white vinegar just spilling all over the place. And it's
your
like,
whole house smells like pickles for weeks.
at least the floor's clean,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
you know? So
Disinfected.
yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Super clean floor.
I've had similar things happen.
But what do you? I'm not like, oh no, the vinegar, because
it's
like,
$2.
exactly, and
Just
like
go get more vinegar.
get more vinegar. It'll be okay. Cool. Lauren, it is White Girl Wednesday. Do you want to talk to the people?
I don't know. I'm not white, remember? I don't get to be white. There's only one white girl.
Roran is a salty version of
you
a
can
white girl.
you can be a temporarily white girl.
She might be mad because she's little.
I'm little in size.
She might
you
be
remind
mad
me
because
that I'm
she's
not
little.
Lauren.
Yeah, in spirit, I'm huge.
Yeah.
Come
Also
sit.
very immature, and I like it that way because I'm going to stay young for a long time.
Sure.
Hi, you can do it.
You can do
That's
it.
what that says.
You can be the white girl.
Oh, God. You know, we really should work on the camera angles here.
We can't.
Okay, because sometimes
The
I see
production
myself
quality
and I'm like,
has to stay low, so the expectations are low.
Who's here?
People.
Lauren can identify as white for a few minutes. Word.
Yes.
Are you
appropriating
my culture? That's what I need to know.
What is
She
your
is.
culture?
It depends on which culture you're gonna be about today.
Yeah,
I'm a
what?
white guy.
Oh, but sometimes you're native when it's convenient.
Hi,
Well,
Lindsay.
when it's convenient.
I had to slow
I'm
down
an
on the ice
African
cream.
American lesbian.
Yes.
Uh,
So which culture are we appropriating?
I don't. Whichever one is the most offensive to me.
Stryker is director of marketing. Thank you very much.
There we go.
Get it right. Hi, Carrie. Okay, let me get down to business. Okay, I just got the email from Evan while this live stream was going for the updated links for class that will be going up today. Have you told them about the second class yet?
I have not.
Ooh, I get to be
Am I
one.
allowed to? Are we allowed
Yep,
to?
we're gonna tell them.
Breaking news with
So-
Lauren.
This is exciting because you've never seen this from us. Evan is not only doing a Zero to Hero class in April of next year. Link is not up yet, so don't run to the site unless you're putting Notify Me. He is doing a tactical operations class that you cannot take unless you've taken Zero to Hero. So if you've taken Zero to Hero, you now will be able to sign up for the tactical operations class, which is like, correct me if I'm wrong, TJ, but like a 2-day immersive.
Yeah.
Like for 2
So-
days, it's going on.
So let me come over here real quick to clarify. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. I just want to be closer to the microphone because everybody likes to complain about audio quality, so I will speak through the diaphragm. Tactical radio operator is a 2-day scenario-based in the field training event that we will be doing at the giant piece of property where we run our in the field stuff. So you can come, you can camp. We're gonna set up a big GP tent and use that as our HQ. And the scenario is the end of the world. Grid
Yeah.
down, and you're gonna go on rescue missions, you're gonna have to go hunt down medicines, you're gonna have to do logistics and all of it. And what's super cool about that location is there's tons of terrain masking.
Yeah.
Tons of terrain masking, and so to actually be able to make commo, it's like a whole thing. And so we're really excited to be bringing that. The prereq for tactical radio operator is the Zero to Hero radio class. So if you've already taken Zero to Hero with us or with Evan at any other location, you're already good to go. And if you haven't, what we're gonna do is Sunday, Monday, we're gonna do a Zero to Hero. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're doing tactical radio operator, and then Thursday, Friday, we're doing refuge essential responder. So if you want to come for the whole 6 days of training,
You're gonna be
you
smoked.
can.
And then Saturday,
It's
Sunday,
gonna-
Monday, the entire staff will be asleep.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome because
Exactly.
we're gonna just set up this GP tent on property, and we'll run essential responder there
Yeah, why not?
in the field.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
going to be awesome.
That's gonna be one of the most epic essential responders ever.
Yeah, it's going to be. So maybe we'll do a bundle on that too.
Somebody asked when we're gonna have tactical combat training. Don't you worry, it's in the works already.
Yep, and with some names you've heard of.
By the way, happy birthday, Patty. It's Patty's birthday.
Happy birthday,
All right,
Patty.
Happy birthday, Patty. Okay, so that's going up in the store within probably the next couple of hours. I would definitely push the notify me button. We oversold that class by a lot last time, and we will not be doing that this time.
Are you doing?
We will not.
As you're putting the 0 to hero up, or you're putting all those classes up in a couple.
0 to hero will go up, and then shortly after that, because we have copious amounts of time, we're going to also get the other class put up.
Okay.
Every day we come in and we're like,
Everything is
ah,
fine.
what are we doing today?
It's all
Fire
fine.
hose.
Closest alligator
That's
to the boat.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
Entrepreneur here, entrepreneur there. That's how the wheels stay running. Okay, so that's going up in the store today. We have the new Safe Start bundle up. It's $100 of savings. It's a travel fact, that jumper box, which is amazing. Heath and I used it to jumpstart a tractor, his truck. It was used to jumpstart the international truck that was here. We used it in a tornado as a flashlight because it also does flashlight things, and it charges your phone. It's amazing. You should definitely get one. And then it also comes with the Rescue Me, and you get that on sale too. So
My wife has that battery box, the jumper box,
yeah,
hooked up to a USB-C in her car, off the 12-volt charger in the car, so it stays charged.
Yeah.
For whenever it's needed. It's like super simple.
It's like
slid.
this big. It's amazing.
It's like slid underneath the seat, but it's plugged in, charging. So if you ever need it, boom, it's good to go. Like, I was like, good work, honey.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, we probably should get a second one. Anyways, you should get them because what happened was we were doing an amazing collaboration with Decked, and we accidentally bought too many. And we're like, these are amazing. We should do a sale for them. So we only have, I don't even know how many we have left now. It's not a crazy amount, so I would go ahead and get it now. Anyways, so there's that. We do still have, because we decided to not take it down, we had a BPK deal going on. It was a BPK and you get a free an eye set. So that's still up. That's probably going to come down soon. And what else am I missing?
BPK, bleeding prevention.
Yeah, bleeding prevention kit. We have an essential responder coming up in October. Wilderness responder is coming up in the end of August. So wow, that's next month. Oh my gosh, it's coming up fast.
60 days away.
And I will say this too, we are blessed to be very, very full when it comes to private training right now.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
public,
lots of traveling happening.
public classes, the classes that you see are the classes that we've got, so much so that we've already started to populate 2026 for classes.
Yeah.
So if you're like, well, I'll catch the one that's next month, there might not be one next month because we are blessed to be doing a lot of traveling for private classes. And also, if you would like to inquire about a private class, just shoot us an email, admin@refugemedical.com. And if you have an agency, an organization, a church group, or whatever that needs to learn the fine art of how to not die, we'll come see you. So.
Yes, so we have that, and then we have, what do we have? Oh, Train the Trainer. We have a Train the Trainer a week or two after that, Essential Responder in October. That's all we have for this year, and that's probably all that's going up. Did you tell them the news about us being American Heart Association now?
No, you can drop that bomb.
Cool. We are not only CLEAT certified now for all of our classes, so we've had, for a long time, we've had people ask, do I get CLEAT hours for this? The answer was always no. We were told it was going to be really hard to do that. Psych, we did it, and now you get CLEAT hours. And then, not only that, we are now registered with the American Heart Association, and we will be holding CPR and AED classes,
Yep.
correct?
Which we already did.
Which we already did.
But now you will get your CPR card out of
Yes.
it as well.
Yeah.
So
Big things happening, guys.
And we're working on NAEMT Cap C hours for continuing education for professional emergency services as well. So that's in process.
Pre-hospital trauma life support.
Yeah,
And
PHTLS, pre-hospital trauma life support, which is civilian TCCC, working on that as well. And your visual aids help quite a bit.
The responder class in the field, Patty, if you're talking about refuge responder, that is half in a classroom, half not in a classroom. Essential responder has a lot more time outside of the classroom.
So.
I don't think they can hear that song, but the Night of the Roxbury song is playing.
So.
Anyways, that's what we have going on for classes. That's what we have going on for kits. And we have a lot of traveling going on. So yeah, that's all I got for you. I gotta go build something cool on the internet right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, do it. Build a cool thing.
Bye!
Bye, Roran.
I'm almost done taking
Are you
things
coming back?
out of bags.
Okay.
If you want to click
Do the thing.
right there. There you go.
Let's talk about Caleb House. I am the general contractor for Caleb House, so that's how I get to talk about all the fun things. We are in the middle of our restoration fundraiser. It goes through July 20th, which gives us, I think, 31 days of pushing for our goal of $300,000. As of 10 p.m. on June 29th, which is the last update I have, we had passed our $150,000 milestone, which is really exciting to be.
What are you doing with 300K?
We are building Care Home 2. So 300,000 is almost exactly what we need to build our second care home on site. We're working on the prep work for that. But that's going to go straight into adding 5 to 6 more beds for restoration. It'll be a family style home. There will be parents that are completely devoted to and assigned to the kiddos for as long as they are in our care. It's going to be a traditional like single family home, so they have a normal growing up experience once we get into the restoration portion of that. You can click there, join the cause. Here's more information on the restoration fundraiser. We do have some matching donors who have partnered with us in the last couple of weeks, which is really exciting. Matching donors help us to increase the final outcome on that goal, which is cool. And I am also currently working through finding in-kind donation partnerships on the different categories of construction. So if you or someone you know owns a supply company for basically any building material that's needed to build residential or commercial construction, and they're interested in working on a tax write-off, donating excess materials, donating specific materials, we have an amazing partnership on the electrical front. We have an amazing partnership on our appliance and large-scale HVAC equipment front. And I am trying to fill the gaps on plumbing, flooring, lumber, trusses, and roofing materials right now. We've had some really good contacts this week. I'm very excited about pushing through that initiative and just being able to talk to more people about the mission, about what we're doing, and get them excited for the cause, because I have gotten nothing but positive feedback on the people that I have talked to and just explained what we're doing. So juvenile human trafficking restoration is kind of a big term, but the end result is we love people well and we do the best we can with what we've got and we keep moving forward.
I'm coming back over there.
You're up.
You don't have to be like that out of the shot. Yeah, I guess you are still in the shot, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, calebhouse.org. So there's a lot of people that pay lip service to counter trafficking and rescuing of kids, and a lot of those people are grifters, and they are earning an income for themselves off of children who have been serially ritualistically abused, and that's not us. I get $0 from Caleb House or from Grindstone. I like it that way. There's a one-way valve into those organizations. Our 990s are basically our tax filings are up on the website. If you want to check into who we are, you can do that, see how we're spending the funds that we've already been blessed with. You can do all that. It is a 501c3 charitable organization, which means that there are tax advantages to supporting Caleb House, if that's something that's relevant to you and your situation. And unlike a lot of people who pay lip service to the rescue and restoration of kiddos, we're actually doing it. And I could tell you we've learned a lot of lessons over the years, because there is no subject matter expert in this. You would think that there is, especially given all the lip service that has been paid to it. However, there's no subject matter expert. And so we have had to not reinvent the wheel, we've had to build the wheel as we've been going. But what's interesting about that, the blessing in that, is that the various state and federal organizations that we have, in many cases, been forced to work with, since they don't have a wheel either. They have the purview for this, but they don't have a wheel. We've been in a position where we get to speak as SMEs and say, yeah, we tried that. That idea that you had, we tried that. It doesn't work. You should really do it this way. Yep. And so we are in many, many states driving what rescue and restoration looks like as policy for these different agencies and organizations. And so that's part of how supporting Caleb House helps as well, because we do rescue, we do restoration, but then also our legal teams, as we're interacting with leaders at the state and federal level who have purview over this, that don't know what to do. And I would say, frankly, don't know what they're doing, because neither did we when we started. We're able to say, hey, here's, lessons learned, best tactics, techniques, procedures, and it's been a huge blessing there as well to get more people rescued, but also, and I think just as important but never talked about, to restore those people. Because if we don't restore those people, statistically, it's just a matter of time before we're going to have to target the people that we rescued. And that's the big logistical challenge, that it doesn't even touch on the individuality of each person and how precious each person is, and that Messiah died for them too, and they can have not just a normal life, but a good life if we can get them through this thing that happened to them. So it becomes part of their witness and testimony, not the defining factor of their life that sets them up for a life of misery and shame and hurt and pain and just, feeling that they're less than. Yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff when we talk about Caleb House. There's a lot of stuff, many different strategic initiatives that Caleb House is blessed to be involved in, and it is building the houses, it is restoring the kids, it is putting fuel in the dozer, but it's also the rescue side.
It's the rescue, and it's the legal fight after the rescue. We had an incredible meeting with some people who share this space with us, who are further ahead than us yesterday, and learned so much, and am so grateful to be able to share space with someone who is a few steps ahead of us in a slightly different way, but just the knowledge and the fact that we're not competing. Yep. We're in this together. We want to serve people together. They also do a lot of outreach. They also do a lot of legal support and advocacy, and so that we are not alone in this space, but there are not very many of us.
Yeah.
And so connecting with people to continue to grow and do better is really important. Yeah, and if you want to come and serve, so there's a couple questions. First, ruckus tickets go on sale in August. If you want to come raise a ruckus, save the date for March 13th through 15th of next year. That's when you can come and see. I mean, you can't come see our facility, but you can come and see us and hang out and raise awareness and carry your ruck around Fort Smith and make it known what we're doing and who we're rescuing and who we're supporting. And then if you'd like to come and volunteer on site, I am always looking for construction professionals or people who just want to be the hands and feet. So if that's you, or if you know someone in the construction space who wants to do in-kind partnerships, you can email me at volunteers@calebhouse.org.
Are you getting those emails? They're going to you?
So let me specify that. We are working on some back-end issues with our website right now. If you email me directly, you go to your Gmail, your Yahoo, your whatever, and you type in volunteers@calebhouse.org, I will get your email. I will answer you. If you fill out the volunteer form that's on our website, that currently kind of goes into the void. So please don't do that. Even if you're not a construction volunteer, you're just interested in serving Caleb House in some way, you can totally email me still, and I will get you directed to the right person, or help you figure out whatever your question is. But email directly for now while we work on that issue and figure that out. If you have events related questions, it's events@calebhouse.org. If you have general information, it's admin@calebhouse.org.
Trying and doing, don't worry about security issues for Caleb House.
Yeah.
So there is a process. There's one of three ways one gets on property at Caleb House. One is you are a survivor that is going to be restored.
Mm-hmm.
Two is you work for the organization and have gone through an intensive background check and vetting process.
Yep.
Three is you volunteer for the organization and have gone through an intensive background check and vetting process. And everybody else gets rifles pointed at them.
Yep.
That's just how that works. So we have the best in the industry. Part of how if we could denote all the blessings that are involved here is we have the best in the industry, the best in the world that have come to us and say, hey, we have a high amount of ideological alignment and we would like to be a part of what you have going on here. And then even then, there's ass sniffing and vetting that has to take place. Because if I don't know you and you don't know me, we have to make sure that you are who you say you are and I am who I say I am before we can move forward.
Yeah.
We had representatives from the Attorney General's office out here, and they went through background checks and vetting before they were allowed to see the property.
Yep.
Okay, so is there a process? Yes. Is it a process worth going through? Yes. So
If that's where you're called to be.
yeah, that's a great point.
Be where you're called to be, not where you think is a good idea.
That's a good word. GrindstoneMinistries.com if you want to punch tornadoes in the face with us. Different ministry. Great ministry. All these things started as a good idea that I had one time, a conviction that I had one time, and Father has just continued to bless it, and here we are. And it's been absolutely amazing to see how all these things have grown, how the Father has poured into them, how the Bear Nation has poured into them. It's been incredible. And so if you're looking at your screen, this is what Grindstone does. When the situation on the ground looks like this, Grindstone goes to work. Almost entirely all volunteer force. We do have a handful of people who are on staff in order to be good stewards of what it is that Grindstone does. But hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and floods, volunteer staff, we show up and we get stuff done. We are not there for the photo op. There's a there's a giant organization whose name, if I said, you would know, in the air quote disaster space, that during Hurricane Helene raised $2 billion.
That's so many
$2
dollars.
billion. And I did not see a single vehicle, trailer, person, nowhere. I didn't see them anywhere. And we were all throughout eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina. I didn't see them anywhere. And they raised $2 billion. That's not us. We get out there and get stuff done, supported by y'all. And so if that's something you want to do, if the Father's tugging on your heartstrings right now because your love language is diesel fuel and chainsaws too, awesome. That's our love language. And just hit grindstoneministries.com. We are small, but we are mighty, and we've gotten really good with everything that we do of getting a lot done on a shoestring budget. And yeah, I love Grindstone. I have, and I'll say this too, Kyle just passed his 1 year mark as executive director of Grindstone, and he's done such a good job of stewarding this and growing it, and it's grown to the point where it needed somebody where their purview is just manage this thing, because Grindstone's done more deployments in the last year than we've ever done. We've had more of an impact in the last year than we've ever done, and that's awesome. So good job, Kyle. And on the Caleb House side, I'm looking forward to introducing you to the new executive director of Caleb House as well. We're not there yet, but you will meet this person, and I am stoked.
To say the staff team is thrilled by this acquisition is an understatement.
I told you.
I adore him.
You asked me, you're like, when we get an executive director, is it gonna like,
Are they going to be terrible?
what happens if they suck? Because I don't want to run away because God told me to be here.
I'm scared of new people, okay, guys? I'm a chicken when it comes to like new faces.
Do you remember what I said to you?
You asked me if I trusted you.
Do you trust me?
I do trust you.
I
That's why
am
I'm here.
stoked about this person as well.
He's
amazing.
incredible.
You
guys
like,
will love him.
The Father provides,
He
right?
does.
Oh my gosh, it's like super
We're not going to
stoked.
cry on camera today.
No, but what a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
What a blessing. And that's the thing too. Like, we have an acting executive director right now.
And he has done a really good job with the hand he's been dealt.
100%.
And he, to be super clear, fired himself.
Yeah.
He wanted to be done because he wants to do what's on his heart to focus within Caleb House as an organization, and he knew that we were growing beyond his capacity to lead.
Yep.
And so we've brought in someone whose capacity and direction is to lead the organization in the way that it needs to go, so that our previous executive director can do what's on his heart and fulfill his calling and purpose.
100%. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's encouraging to
It
me
is.
when prayer is answered, right? Like, and people are critical.
Yeah.
It's part of why when I'll go and talk places, and or Patreon content or whatever, I always get people that say words to the effect of like, well, I know, Barry, people are important, but I get it. I have all the reasons in the world to not trust people. I've been cheated on. I've had my unborn children aborted. I've had my own father punch me in my face my whole childhood. I've been lied to. I've been stolen from. I've had people who've called me brothers that have absolutely taken advantage of me. I've had all the people things. All the people things have happened to me. There's one of my favorite people right there. And yet and still, I cannot tell you more strongly how important people are, because number one, they make life worth living, right? Like, all the good stuff. Now, the worst things in life are people, but the best things in life are also people.
That's been the train you've been on for several weeks now, is people are the best thing and the worst thing about life.
Well, it's a fact.
'Cause it's true.
It's true. But rarely, very, very, very rarely, are amazing things accomplished by individuals.
Yep.
Even if all you see is the individual, there's always a team behind that individual. And it's one of the things that I have railed against here. So you guys give me way too much borrowed credit. You're like, Bear, it's amazing all the things you do. Or Bear, how do you do all the things you do? I don't do all the things that I do. I do maybe 2%. Maybe 2%, and the other 98% is done by amazing people on all these amazing teams that we have. Hey man, yo, when am I gonna get a spigot?
Today, I actually need the keys.
Oh, okay, cool. Here, I got you, boo.
Yeah.
I figured that's what was up. Those two. We gotta put a spigot in at the new classroom.
Yeah.
So a hose
So
bib.
that you can spray people with mud when
Yes.
you're training them.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
It's
correct.
wise.
Yeah. Well, evaporative cooling
Yeah.
and increased misery.
Primarily increased misery.
Primarily increased misery.
Let's be real
yeah.
clear here.
Yeah, because we're gonna be out there in January spraying people too.
Yes.
So.
You don't want to evaporatively cool in January, even here.
But yeah, it's people, and so I am just amazed at the people that the Father continues to fold into these organizations that we have, and the quality of people. I have not encountered a single person in our 4 years, pushing 5 years at Caleb House, that I would prefer to have as executive director than this person that we're honored to bring in.
Yep.
And that's like just facts. And so praise y'all for that. You got anything else to add?
No.
Okay.
Do the things. Be better today than you were yesterday.
Shall we pray for these people?
We should pray for
We
these
should pray
people.
for these people. Let's do it. Good morning, Father Yahweh. Father, thank you for everybody within the sound of my voice. Father, thank you for allowing us to wake up this morning, and thank you for all the things that we don't even know to say thank you for, that we are just not smart enough, too self-centered, too busy to stop and say thank you for. So thank you for all the things that we take for granted, and thank you for loving us even though we don't say thank you enough. Father, please give us a heart of gratitude today. Thank you for the way that you work in our lives. Thank you for the blood of Messiah, that we have a way to come home again. Father, thank you for all the trials and tribulations and all the lessons and all of the things that you put us through, because we are your kiddos and you love us and you want us to do better. And thank you for allowing us to make mistakes that are big enough for us to learn from, but small enough that they don't destroy us. Father, thank you that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and thank you for our daily bread. Thank you for your unseen hand of provision and protection and blessing. Thank you for being a good dad, especially for those of us that may not have had one growing up. Thank you for being a good dad. Father, yeah, everybody who is out there who is going through some stuff, whether it's physical health or provision or uncertainty, please minister to them and provide for them today, and do it in a way that is undeniably, miraculously you, so that we don't have the option but to give you the glory. Father, please work inexplicably, work obviously and undeniably in our lives. Father, Yah, if there's anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, we come together in agreement and rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, and ask that you would instead fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, that we would have wisdom and discernment, that we would have peace that surpasses all understanding, and that we would be able to operate in our giftings and talents and delights that come from you in service to your kingdom, that our light would shine forth before men, and that it would be incomprehensible. Father, please allow us to continue to walk in your spirit and not in our flesh. Father, please pour out blessings in whatever form they may look like in due time upon all of your children. Father, Yah, we love you. And we praise you in Yeshua's name. Amen. That's exactly what I prayed this morning. Praise Yah, strike a cave. And the mouths of 2 or 3, let a thing be established. Alright. Go do the things, Bear Nation. Be the light. I got a call in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you too.
What's up, Glenn? Sheepdog, Betty, George. Morning, George. Dylan. Trying to do it. Mark Chase. What's up, Mark Chase? Hey, Mark Chase. Shoot us an email. I found some bags the other day that I think you would like to have. And I'll just give them to you, homie. Shoot us an email. Alright. I'll see y'all when I see you. Share the show. YouTube hates us. Bye.